Yes, people, what's going on? It's John. Frankie's joined me again tonight. Michael's away on his jollies in Miami. All right for some, isn't it? This is your match preview. Everton versus Fulham tomorrow at Goodison Park. I had to listen to Sean Dyche's match preview of the day because obviously Michael wasn't going to be doing the video with me to find out some team news. And Brantwaite's back in. You know, there's a chance he could come straight back in. Jimmy Garner looks like he's out. This is a game that Everton go into unbeaten in 4, 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games, but against the Fulham team who've started the season quite decent. Do you think this is a game that Everton can go into? Obviously, the confidence will be high.
Yeah.
2 clean sheets in the last 2, unbeaten in 4. Do you think this is a game Everton can go into against a good Fulham team who've got some good players who can hurt you? And put a performance in to warrant another 3 points?
Yeah. No, we've got something to fight for. Whereas Fulham, they've started the season well. We've got something to fight for to get to mid-table. So, and we have, as you say, we've won 4 games in a we've unbeaten in 4. Unbeaten in 4. So yeah, confidence should be high. So I reckon a good performance.
Yeah, you see, Fulham come to Goodison. You know, they've got the ex-Arsenal player Smith Rowe. Iwobi, we all know about. Listen, Iwobi wasn't everyone's favourite cup of tea, you know. But what you've seen since he's gone to Fulham, he's capable of picking the ball up and he runs at the opposition and he can make things happen for Fulham. They've got Pereira, who's dangerous when he's on the ball. Jimenez up front is capable of scoring goals. So this Fulham team, if they get at you and if you allow them to overrun you in the midfield, very capable of hurting you. And that's what we've got to watch for. I think our midfield's got to be on its game tomorrow. I think the way we've been playing, and you've got Ilman and Dyche, who, you know, friend of ours, Ryan Rooney's being interviewed by, you know, Everton, and his songs took off through the fan base. It's known everywhere now. And that sort of player, Ilman and Dyche, and I've said he gets bums off seats. So if he can go into this game with the sort of form that he's showing, what I'm trying to get at is Fulham have got players who can hurt us, but we've got players who can hurt Fulham.
Yeah, totally agree. No, I love that Ryan Rooney song being singing it in my sleep in school and everything, just in middle class. But yeah, he is a brilliant player. He can hurt any team, really. I think he hurts Man City, in my opinion. He can fill it. In my opinion, he can go into any squad.
Yeah, I think he's good enough. He's good enough for the majority of the Premier League teams, in my opinion. So let's talk about Everton then. You know, unbeaten in 4, 2 clean sheets, which when you look at the way the season started, we were conceding goals for fun. I think it was something like 14 or 16 goals we conceded in
4 games.
However many games it was. And Sean Dyche seemed to have tightened that up. I think Michael Keane's been brilliant this season. Tarkowski has said this the other week, has been carrying an injury since the season started. Maybe that's why he's been a bit off the boil. But we've got players coming back in now. Mikalenko's come back in. He's been doing a job. Special mention as well for Ashley Young. Again, another player who's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. But he's done a job when he's been called on the last couple of weeks. I actually think he's been fantastic, Ashley Young.
I think he's been one of our best players.
He has, you know, and we've always said on the channel, you know, we're quick enough to slag players off, slag the manager off, but we'll also give credit when it's due. And I think the likes of Ashley Young, Michael Keane's another one. I'm going to get onto that in a minute, because obviously with Jarrett Brantwaite being back in and around the squad, Sean Dyche has got a big call to make.
He has.
You know, again, we've spoke about it, me and Michael. Dwight McNeil on here has been really, really good. I have no problem with Jack Harrison coming in on the right, because, listen, he hasn't been pulling up any trees, but we know what he can be capable of. If that sort of midfield with Dyche and McNeil and Harrison, we spoke about this again, as I'm saying, getting to it, if they can perform, it probably brings more of a game out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Helps everyone in the squad.
Yeah.
If them 3 play well, it looks like everyone plays well.
But the way them 3 play, and we spoke about this, if you get the ball to the likes of Dwight McNeil and the likes of Ilman and Dyche, takes pressure off the rest of the midfield, which inadvertently takes pressure off the defence. So when you've got them players further up the field who can take the pressure off us and put the pressure on the opposition, it helps so much. And I think we're seeing that the last couple of weeks, the way Dyche has been setting up, that looks like it's the game plan and it's working.
Yeah.
It's been working.
If them three play well, it's always a good game for us if them three are performing well. But again, with Dyche, he's going on a run of games. He went for a run of losses at the beginning of the season, and now he's going on a run of winning.
Yeah, well, listen, Sean Dyche is one of them. He's Marmite, isn't he? You either love him or...
Yeah,
I wouldn't say we hate him, but, you know, it's...
Just like...
The problem you have with Sean Dyche is last season he went on a run of 1 win in 15. And we started the season poorly. And now we're unbeaten in 4. He'd probably up. If we win tomorrow, he'd probably up for manager of the month. Yeah. That's what this Premier League's like. This is what Sean Dyche is like. I do think he's been getting his team selections better.
And his substitutions better.
And his substitutions better. I was just going to say that. But also his in-game management. What I will ask you before we get on to the team and you know, your score prediction. What have you liked, what you've seen from Sean Dyche? I'd say over these 4 unbeaten games, what do you think he's changed? What's impressed you?
The passing. Have you seen little flicks, like with your back heel?
Yeah.
Back heel.
And I think that comes from, he did speak about at the beginning of the season, he wants to stop using the long ball. And I know he still does it. It's pretty obvious he still does it.
Especially from kickoffs.
Yeah, he does. You know, and 9 times out of 10, I've always said if Pickford does that long kick, 1 will work out of the 10, you know what I mean? But when it does work, it looks brilliant. But I think the last 4 games that we've been unbeaten in, and the 2 clean sheets, I think you've seen more football, as you quite rightly say, playing it out from the back, not looking for the long ball. And again, we're going back to the likes of Dyche and McNeil, who have been fantastic the last couple of weeks. You're bringing them into play quicker.
Yeah.
So when they've got the ball, you haven't got to do the long ball, and it could be a hopeless punt up the pitch, because when you've got 2 players like that, and Harrison as well,
it's all about vision. If you see them making the run, just do it.
And as you quite rightly say, how many times have we seen this season the run, and when he has booted it out along Pickford, or the central defenders have, it's actually found one of them 3 players who we always talk about. Lindstrom's back in. He's available after sickness as well.
He's been doing well when he's been in.
Yeah, well, I think he started a bit slow, and I was very unsure of him. I think I remember we were at the Leicester game, and the first half performance, he should have scored there. But he was getting in the right positions, and he has looked better the longer he's been at the club. I'd have no problem Harrison starting over him. Listen, I think we're going to wrap it up now. What was your team going to be for tomorrow?
So, in goal, Jordan Pickford.
Way.
Right back, going to have to be Ashley Young, innit? I mean, he does do well, but at centre back, it won't happen. But I'd have Keane and Branthwaite instead of Tarkowski and Branthwaite, because I wouldn't mind dropping Tarkowski.
Just before you carry on with your team, this is a big call that Dyche has got to make now with Branthwaite, because I don't think Michael Keane deserves, to be taken out the team.
I'd put him up front.
But when you look at the stats and you look at the facts, the best central defensive partnership at the club is Branthwaite and Tarkowski.
Yeah.
It'd be really, really shitty if Michael Keane took out the team. This is if he goes with Branthwaite. He might put Branthwaite on the team, because we all know Dyche has his favourites, and he's had them in the past. And one of his favourites, he had him at Burnley, is Michael Keane. So it's going to be a big call for Dyche to go against what he's always believed in, and believing in his favourites, and taking Michael Keane out the team. Because personally, I don't think Michael Keane should be taken out the team.
I think Tarkowski should, to be fair.
But then when you look at the figures and you look at the facts, the best central defensive partnership at the club is Branthwaite and Tarkowski. Yeah. So it's a big call that Dyche has got on that. Go on, carry on with your team.
So at left back, I'd have Vitaly Mykolenko straight back in the team. Yeah. Midfield, Tim Irabunam and James Garner. I'd have...
You got
Mangala and James Garner, personally.
Garner's out.
I'd have Garner guy. Won't have a problem with Garner guy. Yeah. And then I'd have Dyche on the left, McNeil in the middle. I would have Harrison on the right, and Michael Keane up front.
You're a player short.
Who?
Decore's probably the one to go in. Yeah. I agree with your team. Jordan Pickford, Mykolenko. harsh on Michael Keane, but if Branthwaite does come back in, Branthwaite
I'd
and
put him up front.
Tarkowski,
Or
Ashley Young.
Yeah.
In the middle, you've got Garner Guy, you've got Mangala, sorry, and Jacore, Dwight McNeil,
and Dyche.
and Dyche, Harrison, and
Michael Keane up front. I would.
yeah, well, he's not going to do it, is he?
It's going to be
Dominic
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Score prediction?
2-0 Everton.
Yeah, I'm going for 2-1. I just think Fulham have got players who are capable of scoring. 2-1 or 3-1 for me.
Yeah.
I do think it's a game Everton win. Being back at Goodison on the run of form we're on.
Quite a late kick-off.
Yeah, I hate late kickoffs. And then we've got a run of fixtures where we're capable of picking points up. We've got the trip down to Southampton next week.
No, who's your goal scorers?
Dwight McNeil and Dyche.
I think Dyche and Calvert-Lewin. I actually think Calvert-Lewin will score. I think he's going to go on and run a game. It's not where he scores.
Yeah. Right, we'll leave it there, folks. As I say, Michael probably landing when this video comes out. Probably landed getting his cases. So he's away for 10 days. So there will be a match reaction tomorrow. What I will say is, with being at the game tomorrow, being 5:30 kickoff, will be a late match reaction tomorrow. I am coming straight home, but will be a late one. We'll try and have a little chat on Sunday about the game more in depth. And then it'll probably be me and Frankie again for the match preview for Southampton. And then I think Michael will be back in the country not long after that. So listen, don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Any comments that you do drop in, we do try and reply.
And make sure you go to TikTok.
Oh yeah, check the TikTok channel out that Frankie's set up as well. That's flying. So listen, yeah, thanks very much for watching. We will be back tomorrow. I say it will be a late one, but we will do our best to get a match reaction out. Cheers, folks.